Good evening, everyone. If you could just move into the hall and take your seats, the meeting's going to start in a couple of minutes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TLCC meeting for May 2024. I declare the meeting open at 8 p.m. Good evening and welcome to the TLCC General Meeting of the Toyota Land Cruiser Club of Australia. As you can tell, I'm not Andrew Boyd, the TLCC President. Unfortunately, Andrew is sick this evening and he's asked me to take his place. My name's Greg Norris and I'm the Vice President. To my left, I have Colin Morby, and on my right, I have Mark Willock. If there are any new members here tonight or people about to join our club, please put up your hand. Would you please like to stand up? If everyone can just give them a clap and welcome them. Welcome to the club. I trust you have a long and enjoyable time. Those present, I refer to the attendance book at the back of the hall. Apologies, I have apologies from Andrew Boyd and Chris Taylor. Are there any others? John and Fran Gregg. Ken Duffy. Now, just before I move on, it's very important tonight. We've got our, because we're streaming our meeting live on YouTube, the only way the people who are watching the meeting can hear the questions that you're asking is if you have a microphone. So if you're going to ask a question, can you please wait till somebody brings you a microphone so that everybody can hear your question? And if you start to ask a question, you don't have a microphone, I'm going to have to haul you back and get you to wait till somebody gets the microphone to you. Any questions about that? Terrific. The minutes from the previous meeting have been posted on the back of the room. Are there any issues or points that need raising regarding those minutes? No? Can I please have a mover and a seconder to those minutes? Duchamp and Gary Cooper. Now I'm going to be Andrew announcements by the presidents. So just remember, this is from Andrew. Firstly, I'd like to thank all those who assisted at the TLC swap meet last Saturday, especially Elkie Cooper, who put in an enormous amount of time and effort over months and months and months. Thank you, Elkie. We'll hear from Elkie a little bit later on. Also, the club's 55-year anniversary will be held at Saturday, the 2nd of November 2024 at the Willow Glen property. More details will be advised in the future. Just a reminder, while camping at club properties, be mindful camping late at night that the noise carries. We all want to enjoy the peace and serenity and have a good time at our club properties. Unfortunately, most of you would probably know that Ken Duffy is not well. He suffered a stroke. And I thought rather than me try to give you an update of how his progress is, I just asked Sue if she'd just like to give you a quick update because I'm sure you would like to know.
Thank you, Greg. Hi. A lot of you know Ken. 4 weeks ago today, he had a stroke. He was rushed off to North Shore Hospital where he had a blood clot removed from his neck. He was pretty sick for a while, but he's now been in the rehab ward at Hornsby Hospital for 2 weeks. He's walking reasonably well with with assistance from one person. Light conversations going well. His fine motor skills are good. Yesterday he asked for the puzzle page out of the newspaper and did a Ken and a Sudoku, so I think his brain power's coming back fairly well, so I'm pretty optimistic he's going to make a good recovery. So that's how he is at the moment. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. I hope he recovers really quickly. We all do. Next is the Vice President's report. Now, I've got two items of business this evening. The first is the survey, which we ended up getting 304 responses for. Now, I don't know whether you've ever watched the results of a survey, but we asked a lot of questions and there's some real complexities in there. So I thought I would just give you a very quick summary because I'm conscious of the fact that I can't afford to put you to sleep before our guest speakers, otherwise they're going to have to wake you up. So just quickly, 305 responses, 283 members more than a year, 22 members less than a year. That's 305 out of 800. So as far as surveys goes, that's not a bad buy-in. You won't be surprised to learn that the major reason for joining the club was to learn to drive a four-wheel drive, with access to courses being the second, club trips being next, meeting people, similar mind people next, camping at club properties next. But for those people renewing, the camping at club properties moved up to position 2 and club trips was number 1. I think what I'm going to do is I will review the material that we present regarding the survey with the committee first, just to make sure that it's short enough and to the point enough. I'll just describe one of the questions which I quite like, and I'll show you a picture of it next meeting, and it's called a word cloud. And you were asked at the end of the survey whether you had any comments, and you can type whatever you like. And so this word cloud analysis looks at all the words that everybody typed and creates a cloud of words with words going in all different directions. And the more often the word appeared, the bigger the word is. And you won't be surprised to hear that it says in big words right across, members want more trips. I thought you might find that poetic. So I'd like now to introduce you to our guest speakers tonight, Peter Fenwick from Camperact and Mark Nelson from Ambush Trailers. You may have seen the trailer out here, and hopefully if the weather is kind to us, you'll be able to see how it unfolds and what it can do. So guys, please come up and tell us all about the Ambush trailer.
Thanks, Greg. We'll be fine with one mic, I think. Thanks, Greg, and everybody for coming out and seeing us. We've got a little video to show you in a couple of minutes, but this is the guy who really designed the ambush camper, Mark Nelson. For quite a few years now, he's been trying to get his head around the idea, why can't I have a camper that'll carry my motorcycles, my dirt bikes, my quad bike, my road bike, without being a massive big caravan that you've got to drag behind you and suck fuel. He's come up with what I believe is probably one of the best solutions I've ever seen, and Mark and I got together, a few little refinements, and we're trying to market this across Australia.
We can't hear you on the live stream. You're going to have to talk closer to the mic.
Okay.
Hold one up at your mouth.
I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Okay. Take 2. All right. So the guy you really want to meet is Mark Nelson beside me. He came up with the idea of the ambush camper because he got very, very tired at looking at large toy haulers. He wanted something simple, efficient, quick, that would carry a quad bike, 3 dirt bikes, 2 road sport bike, or a big cruiser. And it needed to be made in Australia, it needed to be compact, and it needed, because we're all getting a bit older, to be automatic. It's parked out there in the car park. We're starting to market it throughout Australia. The reason I'm here is because I'm the bunny who stands in front of microphones a lot of the time and promotes things, okay? And I have this little business called Camperact, which most of you are familiar with, and some of you own our products. This ambush camper is going to be one of the unique trailers and campers on the market, because it'll appeal to people who have dirt bikes, quad bikes, vintage and veteran bikes, race bikes, and when you get to the event you're going to, it'll set itself up once you get the bike off the back. And it takes 60 seconds or less. So, have I got it right, Mark?
Pretty close, mate. Got a comfortable bed there as well, so that's the whole idea of it.
And it's made here in Sydney from mostly all Australian components, and a few specialist imported ones done very quickly. If I could trouble John to give us the video, you see a brief video of it in action and you'll recognise one of the people in the video, because it's neither of us.
Hey, I'm Scott Gibbons and this is terrific because I've got exciting news for you. If you're a camper, you're going to love these. These are called ambush campers, but with a real difference that nobody else does. And that is that you've got a luxurious queen bed plus the ability to carry 3 trail bikes or 2 road bikes or a full quad on the back of your camper. So when you arrive, you sleep in luxury, you cook in luxury, and you've got your bikes with you. So that's so good. They come in 2 models. There's an off-road model and a semi-off-road model. The off-road model even has airbag suspension. It's that good, and they are just terrific. It's like having a B&B, your bike and bed all in one. As Ambush say, if you're going bush, go ambush. And you've got to see them. They're Aussie made, they're Aussie owned. Ambush campers, get them at camperact.com.au, camperact.com.au.
Okay, well there you go, unique product. Is that sound coming through down the back? Didn't think so.
This one's working.
All right, how's that?
Okay.
Great, so everyone just agreed it's a unique camper. It comes in road and off-road versions, and put an order in and we can deliver it in about 4 months' time.
We certainly can.
Sorry? I heard a question. 4 months is pretty good in the camper trailer business, especially for something so unique. Now, you probably noticed Scotty in the video said there are 2 versions, a road and an off-road. Mark, tell us the difference between the road and the off-road.
Well, the road is really, well, we call it road or semi-off-road, but they're such a lightweight camper, wherever you're going to cart it, it'll drag along behind you. They're very robust. The off-road version has a unique, very unique airbag suspension, so it gives that little bit more clearance. So you can set it for road height when you're on the road, and then when you get to the rough stuff, you can pump it up a bit more and give yourself a bit more clearance. But yeah, like I say, lightweight. The on-road versions start at 700 kilos. The off-road in the configuration we've got out here is about 850 kilos. So, and they can carry up to 1400 ATM. So 60 seconds, like Peter said, 60 seconds literally press of a button and she goes up and you've got your tent. And then, yeah, within a couple of minutes you've got your bed all sorted, your kitchen's there, everything's done.
And there's a different kitchen between the off-road and the on-road, and you can swap them over if I remember rightly.
Yeah, there's two size kitchens. The T55, which will carry up to a 60-litre fridge, and then the D95, which carries up to the 95-litre fridge. It's got a full Dometic slide-out kitchen, so quite unique, and yeah.
And you probably didn't see it in the photos, but the wooden cutting boards are really good. The pull-out drawers are excellent. And I think we've got a number of the photos flicking by. This is the air suspension model. You can see the bag in there. It's properly positioned so for vertical use. Too many people mount their airbags at odd angles. more chance of getting damaged when you do that. As you can see there, there's the full setup. Now we can zip a full awning onto that and a forward awning. On the other side, you can actually get out of bed, walk through your lounge room, into your ensuite, use the facilities and then go back in without having to get out of bed, get dressed, walk around the other side in public and then use the facilities. The only other camper I know that does that, and it's quick and easy to set up, is the Track T-Van. So he's in good company. The T-Van's been around for 30 odd years and they've got a 25th and 30th anniversary models on the road now, and even the Firetail's hit 25 years old. So we just lost the photo. Never mind.
So, yeah, so with any luck, if the rain holds out, we'll do a bit of a show and tell outside after your meeting, and if you've got any questions, or if you've got any questions now, happy to answer. So
Ask away.
Nope.
No, in that case, thank you very much for having us here this evening, and we'll look forward to answering questions at the end, and if the rain holds off, we'll do a demo with it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Mark. And let's hope that, let's pray for no rain, because I'd really love to see that camper in the flesh. Can you use one of those if you don't have trail bikes? I think it's good enough to have without the trail bikes.
You don't need to put anything on it.
Could you put a tinny on it? Sorry? Could you put a tinny?
Leslie.
Sorry, I thought my voice was loud enough. Hello, I was wondering if you could put a small, like, tinny on it. Okay. Is there a limit to what size tinny it will take?
There is. You're not going to be able to put a big one on, so it depends on how you
Sorry.
Yes, you can. Yeah, a small tinny, certainly not a large one. Just depends on how you put it, on. So
12 foot, 13 foot or less?
probably 13 foot you'd get away with.
Right, okay.
So, but it's just how you put it on. So it either goes on a small lightweight trailer, or I don't know if you've seen the clip-on wheels.
Yes.
Put them on that way as well.
Beautiful. It's great to know. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, Mark. Okay, next I'd like to go through the Treasurer's Report from our last meeting. Can I have a mover and a seconder for the Treasurer's Report? Oh, sorry. I thought this was from the last meeting. Sorry, buddy. Mark, would you like to go through the Treasurer's Report?
Thank you, Greg. I'd love to go through this is my moment of glory, and he steals it.
There's a question online.
Oh, there's a question.
Question online just came through. What was the price for the off-road version?
We start at 44,000 for the basic on-road setup without a kitchen, and then it goes up from there. The unit you'll see outside later is the off-road version with the big D95 kitchen on it. That starts at 59,900 odd. So, and then you can option it up with different battery options, different setups. So it goes up from there.
Are we good for Treasurer's Report? I'll be quick. I'm always quick. Okay, so April. April was a good month for incoming money. We collected $18,400. That was membership fees. So we wrote to all the, Alan wrote to all the members who hadn't renewed and reminded them that they needed to renew. And so we got a bunch of those people renewed, plus the usual score of incoming new members. The new promotions officer has been chasing up advertisers and advertising, and so we got about $7,000 towards publishing the magazine. And we were lucky enough to have both our term deposits mature in the late April, so we got $5,600 worth of interest. So that's the incoming. And in April, we spent $11,600. We paid for a lot of our web services. We paid for the BAS for last quarter. We ran the fireworks at, not fireworks, what do you call it? Easter, the Easter Bunny at Easter. We hired the hall. We did some more work at Coolandilly and the other properties. And so as at the end of April, we have $396,430 in the bank, most of which is on term deposit. Thank you.
Now I'd like a mover and a seconder. Norma Ferguson for the mover. Oh. And Bob. Rob Alexander, sorry. Next I'd like to call Gary to give his report. I'm not going to give it for you though.
Is this alive? It is. Keep it alive. Okay, good evening everyone. We'll start off with the courses. The advanced driver training held in May on the 20th and 21st of April. 6 participants, and that's the number that it's capped at this stage. So 6 participants had a go at it. And we also had 2 basic driver trainers attend. They are learning how to present the advanced course so that if in a situation where the presenters that currently don't or couldn't turn up, at least we can present the course because we've got backups, and that's a great idea. It's sort of future-proofing the course. Now, something, I just want to step away a little bit from the advanced. I have this passion, and it's just my personal feeling that I would like to see more lady driver trainers for the basic. I feel if you are a new lady member, you've just turned up with potentially a brand new 4-wheel drive, you haven't driven it very much, the husband probably owns it, you're scared witless that you're going to damage this man's new car, that when you turn up for your basic, it's possible that you don't want to damage this brand new car of your husband's, and if you see a whole stack of men trainers, now the guys do a great job, they really do, but I just feel myself that if we had a few more ladies in the training group, it just might relieve a bit of pressure on the ladies. So I'm making a bit of a deal of mine to actually try and encourage more ladies to learn the basic driver training. And we have one lady who's just finished the advanced in the May course. She's put her hand up and she'll be down to start her basic driver training in the the May basic driver training. So that's great. We've only currently got Robin Moggs, who comes down when she can. We've got Melina Adatini, who comes when she can. And unfortunately, that's all we've got currently for lady driver trainers that are down there. So I don't know how people feel about it. It's just my passion to have that and try and improve the number of ladies. Right. Navigation courses, Allen Kids courses, great courses. This coming Saturday, the 11th of May, we've got the HEMA 4x4 Explorer, and then on Sunday the 12th, we've got the Aussie Explorer for Android. I think there's 6 in one course and 4 or 5 in the other course. So there's still a couple of positions available, but you'd have to be quick to get in. But these are great courses. The courses were excellent. Anybody wishing to travel Australia and just not get lost out there. So we've done all of Alan's courses and I can really recommend them. Basic driver training for May. Module 1 will be held here in the back room on next Tuesday the 14th. Modules 2 and 3 at Willaglen on the 18th and 19th of May, and the course is currently full. Bob Fife, the senior trainer, he likes to keep it around 20 to 22 people, and that's currently full. June, basic driver training, module 1, here again, the 11th of June, modules 2 and 3, 15th and 16th of June. There's already 20 in that for June. July is open for booking also. Module 1, 9th of July, modules 2 and 3, 13th and 14th of July. We already have 4 in July. Chainsaw course, we had to move that so it didn't conflict with the 55th anniversary. So the chainsaw course is now on the 21st and 22nd September. So that's always a great course run by Wayne Back and David Lamb. So anybody interested in that, keep an eye out. 6 weeks ahead, 8 a.m. on the Saturday. Book in if you want to do it. I've already had quite a few inquiries about it. And this next course we're going to do is the Trip Leaders course. Gareth Davies had such success with his first course he did earlier in the year and such good feedback, he's decided to run another one. That'll be on the 28th and 29th of September at Willaglen. And the good thing about Gareth's courses is you can apply, but you must also commit to run a course for the members. Now that can be a simple 1, 2 or 3 day course, but at least it adds to our course numbers. And that's basically it for the courses. But as usual, if someone feels they've got something that they'd like to offer the club, a course in some topic, please contact me and we'll see if we can work it into something that's suitable for the membership. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Next, we'll get to hear from Jason about promotions.
No, Recce, that's perfect height. I've been standing up very tall all day at work. It's nice to lean over a little bit. Promotions, short and sweet, always. First off, massive thank you to Elkie, the swap meet. I think it was great. You know, it turned out might not have been as much as we liked, but you know, it was nice. Had 5 extremely interested parties on becoming members of the club. One of them is predominantly interested in the historic side of things and able to use our club for registration of his old Toyotas, which I think is wonderful. So looking forward to them hopefully all coming on board. Apart from that, as was already mentioned, outstanding advertising accounts, they're slowly coming in, which is really good for us, and we're holding on to those people that are currently advertising who have not paid for a little while, so that's very good. A couple of them have required some updates to their account details, so that's slowly moving forward as well. Other news, there's one new advertiser which is hanging in the wings. As soon as I've got something concrete, I will advise you who it is. Apart from that, I'm done. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Jason. Next, we'll hear from Debbie Oliver with the Social Director's Report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As most of you are aware, the TLCC ran a swap meet on the grounds of the Cabramatta High School this last Saturday. This was the first time that this event had been on our calendar for 5 years. COVID and other circumstances had intervened, and also in the hiatus, the grounds that we had previously utilised, that is the Revesby Public School, had placed further buildings on their grounds, which made it not an option for us. We were fortunate to obtain access to alternate grounds at Cabramatta High School. This venue offers a large grassed area, a 40-space sealed car park, a separate parking area for volunteers and 2 large undercover areas, approximately 35 metres by 25 metres each. Sellers and buyers, and the consensus of the TLCC volunteers stated that they thought it was an excellent venue. It looked like nothing would prevent this from being a super event. But then Mother Nature shook her fist. The weather forecast for the entire week leading up to the event was very threatening right up to Friday night. On the day, however, we did not get a drop of rain. However, this may have put people off from earlier in the week. The event was widely publicised, email invitations to 31 four-wheel drive clubs in the Greater Sydney Basin, the TLCC magazine several times, TLCC coming event sheet, New South Wales and ACT Four-Wheel Drive Association and its members, TLCC Facebook, both open and closed, with regular updates on both of those sites, and local radio station, broadcast range Liverpool to Fairfield. As it turned out, attendance by both sellers and buyers was disappointing. There was an estimate of around 20 sellers, including some TLCC volunteers, and around 30 buyers. The feedback from the TLCC members who had participated in previous TLCC swap meets believed that the gap of 5 years since the last swap meet was run has resulted in loss of momentum in the attendees, and it may take a year or two before the number of those attendees builds again. No one's help is worth more than the next person's, and my sincere thanks go to all the volunteers who helped before, during and after the event. But I must make special mention of Rob Alexander, who spent an entire day cleaning the barbecues before the event, Debbie Oliver, who oversaw the food stand, and John Kenny, who was prepared to tow trailers here and there and everywhere, and my husband, without whose support 24/7 I would achieve nothing. I'm hopeful that we can run this event again next year and remake it into the popular fixture that it has been on our calendar in the past, only bigger and better. I would just like to say one more thing. I invite new members to get involved in activities on the club calendar that give the opportunity to engage with other members. The rewards are more than you can ever imagine: to make new friends, learn about the four-wheel drive experiences from those who have been there and done it. I had a long conversation with some new members at the swap meet who looked for opportunities to get advice on four-wheel drive travelling. I say to you, the options are there. Just tap into the fabric of the membership at Working Bees or similar occasions and you will reap rewards you never imagined. Now I have a brief, very short video on the swap meet. Thank you.
Thank you, Elkie, for that great report and the photos. And I just wanted to congratulate you on your very professional organisation of our swap meet. You put an enormous amount of effort and time into the preparation, ensuring we maintain good relations with Cabramatta High School, making sure all the equipment was really well organised and in place, doing tons of advertising, and that our volunteers were well informed about what needed to be done. And I really applaud you for your efforts, Elkie. So, what's next in the social calendar? I'm sure you all realise that the fireworks event is coming up on the 8th of June, Saturday night of the June long weekend. We'll be kicking off at about 5 p.m. with a barbecue and yummy salads. That will be at the shed. And then the fireworks will be underway about 6:15 down on K1. Followed, those who've been there before realise that we have a segment of fireworks, and then we stop and pause and have dessert and coffee and hot drinks, and then a second set of fireworks is underway. We'll be starting our bonfire during the second lot of fireworks, so that it'll all be nice and warm for members to sit around afterwards, maybe bring their favourite beverage, sit around and have a chat with other members. That's all that I was going to say, except that the bookings for the event are open. They will close 1 week before the event, which will be the 1st of June. So just hop online on the member zone and book in. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. Next, we've got the Land Manager's report from Brian Chisholm.
Evening, everyone. Start off some general stuff first. Over the next few months, with personal commitments and travel, I'm going to be hit and miss in my attendances. So Gordon White's going to take point for land, which I greatly appreciate, at both properties. And Elkie will take care of the issuing the guest passes during my absences as well. So thank you, Elkie, for that. Moving on to the properties, I haven't been to Willow Glen since the last working bee, so I haven't heard anything bad, so I'm going to assume everything's good down there at the moment. Down at Coolandill, following the deferment of the last working bee down there by a week, we had a small but dedicated team turn up. We would still be down there potentially with the way the water came up, and most of our efforts were fixing water damage on the walking track, Horse Creek crossing, and debris removal that had been dumped all over the camping areas, so that we get the mower through there in future without damage. And this weekend we have another working bee down there, so anyone's at a loose end will be most welcome down there, and the team down there would appreciate any assistance that could be given. And I think that covers me for this month. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Next, we'll hear from Alan Kidd with his membership report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Let's see. We've had a bit of a campaign, as Mark mentioned, to get renewals coming in from last year, and in the last month we've had 11 of those renewals that have come through. In addition to that, we've had 10 new memberships with 11 vehicles, meaning we now have a total of 832 family memberships, which includes 23 life, and we have 252 email-only recipients for the TLCC news. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Next, we'll hear from Peter Williams with his activity coordinator report.
Hi, everybody. Damn you, Greg, and your survey. You put the pressure on me. As far as trips go, there was one trip that finished this month, or the last month now, and that was the Fraser trip of Tony's. Oil reports that went extremely well, apart from the mini cyclone, but Tony's going to prepare a trip report for us for next month. In the upcoming month, we have 3 trips that have some vacancies on them. At the moment, on the webpage, we have 7 trips listed. Not a lot for June, unfortunately, but the 3 we've got going this month, the first one I'm going to mention hasn't got any, is full at the moment, and that's Jamie's trip, 4-wheel drive heaven, Rydal Lake Lyle trip. The trip after that, the 1 trip 2 leaders, which is 1 leader's myself, and the other one's Steve Matthews, who'll lead the second day. And basically we'll be going from Portland to Ophir via Savala, Hill End, Turon River, out across the Macquarie River at Dixon's Long Point into Ophir, and then basically home from there through a bit of a back road. The next one with vacancy, 2 spots on that one, would have to get in fast to get the permits done on time, is Mitchell Burke's Utnadada to Alice on the 20th of June. He's heading there for the Fink Desert Race. If you wanted to have a look at that and then make your own way from there, once you got out to Alice. Mitchell, I was talking today, would be very happy to have you along. The 3rd trip that has vacancies at the moment is Richard's Mount Airlie trip. This is a child-friendly trip with some bushwalks, some history, some ruins, and a drive up Mount Airlie to get to the top and see the scenery from there. I'd compliment Richard. His preparation has been outstanding and will be, due to that, a really good trip. There is the opportunity to meet up on Friday at the campground up there. If you're interested, I know Richard's here tonight sitting over there. Have a chat with him and I'm sure he'll be able to fill you in on what is going on there. So that's the trips that have got vacancies for the month. The next trip after that on the website is the Willow Glen Explorer on June 1 and 2. Unfortunately, that's full now, but it might give somebody a hint that we can do a trip on our own property and go down there and organise something. Then Mitchell's Hay River trip later on in June. And Steve Evans, one of the driver trainers, has put up an expressions of interest for the Simpson Desert Bike Challenge. He'll run a trip for a few days getting out to where that bike challenge starts. Perny Bore, I think it is. And then people that are interested, you don't have to be part of the bike challenge, but then you can go as support on the bike challenge. He needs about 5 people to be support for the bike challenge, which would be a very interesting way to get back to Birdsville from Perny. There's Barrington Tops trip in October. That's currently full. There is a short wait list being produced for that. If you wanted to try and get a spot on the wait list, it's a fair way away in October, so maybe some people will drop out and you'll get a chance to go to Barrington. And as Elkie said, the joining in with the other activities on the club, I know in June there's a lot of members on semi-private or private trips, but generally with people they've met through the club. And if you get into these activities, support the activities, go as volunteers to the working bees, any of that stuff, you will meet people, make the associations, you'll get to know which trips are going on and where and who's organising. You might even be able to get into these semi-closed ones that are organised between members who have got friends and just want to use that group to go away with. That's all I've got tonight. Thanks everybody. Oh, well, we need more. We need to fill up June's calendar. We've basically got something on for the rest of this month every weekend. I'd like to see June the same way. I'll be in the Simpson Desert during June, but that's okay. And beyond. So if you've got any ideas for trips, throw them at me and I'll try and help you organise them and get them off the ground. Thanks everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, Pete. That was great. One of the things I got from the survey, if I just might throw it in, is that if each member just ran 1 2-day trip every 3 years, we'd have 22 trips every month. Something to think about. Okay, is there any general business from the members? Come on.
Need something more substantial.
Okay, I'm scared.
Righto, my name's Chris Chapman. I go back a little bit of history with the club. In 1988, we ran the Bicentennial Jamboree. Rob was the coordinator for that, and I had the job of being the on-site organiser. And as such, we had to get a guest speaker, and we got Len Bedell, with help from other club members, and we got Len Bedell as a guest speaker. And probably people don't know me enough, but I am an absolute Len Bedell junkie or groupie or whatever you want to call it. And met him and had a good talk with him on that Bicentennial Jamboree. And we got chatting about the atomic bomb site at Emu. And I don't know how it even came about, but he's just sitting there in his usual quiet way, and he said, you know, I think if we actually dug at ground zero, we might still find a piece of the bomb casing. Because literally actually, if you turn the lights off, you will see the green glow. But actually, the bomb there was a tower bomb. It sat up on the top of a 100-foot steel tower. The bomb casing itself was over 8.5 tonnes. It was 1.5 inch thick cast steel, so it was really heavy. And he said that in that time when the bomb actually went off, because he was only standing 4 miles away, they all stood on a hill to watch it, he said that that whole tower and that huge bomb casing vaporised in a millisecond. And I thought, oh, well, that's pretty good. And he said, you know, I think in that millisecond there might still be a piece of the bomb casing directly at ground zero. So I've been out there 7 times, but on my 3rd trip out there, I thought to myself, while everybody else was looking around at the sand, because literally a half-mile wide circle of that red sand was turned to black glass. So everybody, when you go out there, you look for the really nice shapes of the black glass. And so I had nothing better to do because it was my 3rd trip. So I got my shovel out and started digging directly at ground zero. So there we have an 1.5 inch thick cast steel. It's a bottom piece of the bomb casing that was blasted into the ground in a millisecond. Don't worry, it won't glow for very long. Actually, when I got it back, I was very wary about finding that, and I put it in a plastic box and kept it up on my roof rack until I got back to Sydney. And I gave it to Carl, a club member who worked at Anstow, and he did a test on it, and he said, that's all right. He said, what were you going to do with it? And I said, well, I'm going to drill it and mount it to a plaque on the wall. And he says, well, I think I'd be careful what you did with the filings. He said, I wouldn't ingest them. So I wrote a note down there not to eat the filings, so I haven't, and I've left it unmounted. So just you can all have a look in a little while, but that's a piece of an atomic bomb that's actually gone off. There's not very many people in the world who've got some of that, maybe some Japanese people in Hiroshima, but that's very tacky. Very tacky, I know, but not very many people have got a piece of the atomic bomb that's actually gone off. And so I just thought I'd bring that in for show and tell. One of the best pieces is the sand has been turned to black glass for a half-mile wide circle, and that's a nice piece of that sand that's been turned to black glass. So I'll just leave it there for people to have a sticky beak at. But as I said, it's when you go on these trips and you've got nothing better to do, so start digging. Oh, righto. It's that good, is it? Righto. Should I smile? Yes. So just if you ever go to Emu, because it's one of the two bomb sites that you can get to without going into Maralinga, and you can still hunt around and find pieces of the black glass. And I had a good dig at directly at Ground Zero for Totem 1, which was October 1953. So I had a good dig there, but I think I've got the only bit. But that's it, just for a bit of show and tell, and I'll leave it up there for people to have a look at. And if you turn the lights off, it'll sort of glow for you.
Thanks for that, Chris. Well, that's two things not to eat: silica gel and radioactive iron filings. Any other general business from members? I was going to say, who can top that? Do I have any general business from the committee? Mark?
No, but I may be sick next meeting.
Maybe I will be too. Colin? Brian? Peter? Gary? Alan? Debbie?
Sorry, I forgot.
Oh, you need a mic.
Sorry, I forgot. I've been trying to find an owner for this. It was left at Easter. I'm just putting the word out at the meeting. Anybody knows? It might be a guest's watch, kids' watch, I think, but it's a VTech, so it's worth a little bit. Okay.
Thanks, Debbie. Jason? Okay. Just a reminder that in November, our general meeting is going to be at ARB at Thornley. And the guys at Camperact have bought a whole lot of additions to our prize pool today. So I'm going to invite Leslie to draw those, and maybe I'll get Peter and Mark to be the ticket drawers. Oh. Look what happened to my hair.
I know, it's very slick. Has anyone got any birthdays today? Any birthdays this month? Hello? Happy birthday. Do you want to come on up? You can you can do a draw as well because it's your birthday. What's your name? Nathan. Hello, Nathan.
Hello.
Okay, so gentlemen, can we let Nathan go first, do you think? Would you like to do a spin? Yay! And we'll just get one ticket. So you pull out one ticket. Okay, can you read the number?
Number 71.
So that's green E71. Yay, Reki! Thank you, Nathan. You can sit down now.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, everybody give a round of applause for Nathan. Happy birthday, Nathan. Okay, gentlemen, would you like to draw away? We've got a lot to draw for tonight. Red D27. Oh, we have a winner. Bingo. So first in, first dress, choose what you would like. Just keep drawing.
Jason, can I get you to take a couple of photos of the prize winners? Thanks.
E49. Congratulations, Sue. E9 green. Yeah, you got flowers. You can take whatever you want. Well, you better choose fast. Yes, please. Yes, please. E83 green. Oh, Lutz. Oh, quick, Lutz. They're still there. You know what Innes said? Lutz said that Innes said that he needs to bring the flowers home. Congratulations, Innes, if you're watching. Okay. E73 green. E73 green. Redraw? You don't want it? Come on, Ricky, at least come and grab some chocolates. There's chocolates? Okay, all right, we'll continue drawing. E64, green E64. Oh, we have another winner. You should be yelling out, bingo! Oh, thank you. I'll just take that one. Choose what you want. E25. Do we have an E25? Are you checking our tickets, honey? E25? We don't have a winner? Going once? Going twice? Did we have an E24 up there? No? Okay, all right, let's continue on then. D14 red. Red D14. Wow. Okay, another mystery. All right. Oh, bingo, we have a winner. Yes? Yes? Take your pick. Yes, you can. The cover's in the zip-up section there. Green. Green E11. E11. Jason, E11? No? It's probably Elkie. Why? I didn't, okay. All right, we'll do a redraw. There's lots of prizes tonight. Thanks to our wonderful sponsors here. Oh, there's two there, we'll take the top one. D58, red, D58. Look at that. The tall gentleman at the back. What would you like to choose? The hair straightener, the blow dryer, or the the fire extinguisher? Very practical. Okay, we have another one. Green E89. E89. Oh, anyone got a winner there? Have we got a winner? E89. Must be here somewhere. No? All right, we'll do a redraw. No, have we got a winner? Up the back, we do. Look at that. There we go. You definitely want the hair straightener. There you go. There's your choice. Hair dryer, hair straightener, or chocolates with 50th anniversary glasses. Thank you. I want the hair straightener, personally. Next one is green E92. E92. Who said me? Oh, we have a double strike. Who have we got? Okay, the next one is red. D17. I still haven't got that hair straightener. D17, red. Redraw. You don't want a hair straightener, Pete? You could use it on your beard. Okay. Okay, D4. Red D4. Honey, put the phone down and check properly. I love it. I got the hair straightener. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Could you take my hair straightener and look after it, please? Don't use it. Don't use it. Thank you very much, Ambush Campers. You've made me a very happy camping lady. Okay, the next ticket is red D20. D20 red. My gosh, okay. We're going to wear out our guests here. Okay, green E17. E17. Oh, look, there we are. Come on down, Anthony. I've got just the product for you. Would you like the hairdryer? Hairdryer or chocolates? Fabulous. D59, red. D59. Someone must have that ticket out there. It's a red D59. Oh, we have a winner again. Well, there's only one option left. Congratulations on your new hairdryer. Thank you so much, Ambush Campers. We really appreciate the prizes. Thank you.
Well, what a collection of prizes that was. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks everyone who donated prizes for our Lucky Door prize. And before we finish the meeting, I just want to remind you that if the weather is being kind to us, you get to see that, that beautiful ambush trailer in real life working. And everybody can go out and admire it. But also don't forget the lovely food and drinks we've got at the back. I declare the meeting closed at 9:03 p.m. Thanks for being so kind. Oh, I've got one more question. Oh, sorry, Sue. Clearly. I'll talk to Andrew about that. I may never get this gig again, you know. So Sue, please. We'll do your trip report and then we'll do the trailer. I should have done this as part of Peter's section.
This is a very traditional PowerPoint display. My technology skills aren't super good, so you've got pictures and there will be a narration from me to go with it. So in February, we went to Victoria. The trip was well and truly booked out and got divided into two groups. Ken and I led the first group. There's Ken already. doing the crosswords. And here's the group lined up at G High Campground. And there we were for our group buffet dinner at the end of the first day of our trip. People brought delicious food to share. And Ken had laundry to do. And there he is checking out the Tom Grogan Ford, also to show the depth, which was not very high, and to show the semicircular route to drive across. And here's one of our trip members with gorgeous pictures down the side of his car. Here's the convoy lined up ready to tackle Mount Pinnabar, which in the end, as you can see, was very rough, and we decided to call it quits about 2/3 of the way along. This was partly because it was very rough, loose and scrabbly, but we also had members who were new to high country driving and didn't have lockers on their cars, just had central locking. And that didn't show the ruts all that well. And there's a view of the part of the Mount Pinnabar track. We tried to drive up Mount Gibbo, but you can see that was pretty awful as well. So we turned around from that one as well. The next day we headed off to Swifts Creek, which is near Omeo. We stopped to air down our tyres. So there's our group. Nearly everyone except one had trailers of some sort or other. It was quite a pretty foggy day. We had a break at the Hinnamungi Bridge where the trusses show axe marks for where the trusses were hewn by hand axes all those years ago. There's the Swifts Creek campground. One of our members, he had a camper trailer and a huge 270-degree awning, so he was well set up. That was Dean Montalti. The next day we went to the Washington Winch, which had huge aerial cables and complex system of pulleys. That's one of the overhead pulleys. Oh, there's me in my colourful raincoat. And there's nearly everybody in the group was in that photo, I think. And there's the Washington Winch behind. There's Susan Coulson's troopy. Susan Coulson's here tonight to give me some moral support. Wave your hand, Susan. There she is. There's a cute little place called Moscow Villa, which was set up as a sort of a weekend hut for some people who liked hanging out in the mountains. Then we went to Camp Oven Gap further along the same trip, same track. And, oh, here's the troopy again. And the person in the pink beanie giving some directions. Oh, and up over the mound and down again and up. And here we come to, I forgot to look up the name of this track. It was very muddy and clayey. We had some problems with the muddy, wet clay. Ken and I got stuck part way up, which was eventually resolved by letting a lot more air out of the tyres. So thanks Peter Williams for that advice years ago in the Pilliga. When it's wet and clay, let the air out of your tyres. And Susan Coulson's troopy got stuck too. Yeah, this is supposed to be a video, but it's not videoing. Oh, never mind. Susan got towed up the hill. We visited the Casillas Historic Area, lots of derelict machinery, all very interesting. There's Peter Waters looking at the old tractor. There's a couple of the fellows looking at stuff. Then we tackled Powers Gully, which is a really fun four-wheel drive track. Everyone should have a drive up Powers Gully. This is supposed to be a video too. But anyway, helps to point it that way. And after we'd tackled Powers Gully, we drove along the Mount Delusion track, which was very pleasant and easy through the forest. We stopped for lunch. We went down to the Haunted Stream track. There's the intersection sign. There's the Haunted Stream. There's the ford we went. We had to cut that day a bit short because we ran out of time. There's the Duffy's car crossing the Haunted Stream. There's a down the stream, and here's John Lawler's car crossing. The track had been, was really overgrown, and there was 2 of these brush cutting machines cutting the track along. If we'd gone the day before, we wouldn't have been able to drive through. And this big machine just goes munch, 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 and chomps everything up within that it can reach. And the track drives across private property, and there we all are airing up at the end of the day. Then it was on to Birragum Road, going to the Dargo area. This is the dog's grave. Lots of people might have heard about this. Quite a few of you have probably stopped to have a look at it. There's this very elaborate gravestone in memory to, I think it's a mythical dog. And there's a sign for Mount Birragum, and we stopped for a look at from the lookout there, and it's a pretty boring scenic view. And this is the Dargo area. We stayed at Jimmy Iverson Campground on the Upper Dargo River. Very nice little campground, lots of level spaces, and a nice swimming area. Billy Goat's Bluff. It's probably the highlight day of the trip. We had some warm-up tracks, Grady's track, down and up, very steep. Conway's track was quite challenging in places as well, and they led to the Kingwell Bridge, which is near the base of the Billy Goat Bluff track. We stopped there for morning tea. Blokes are all chatting together about their cars. Billy Goat's Bluff, the main event. There's the track. There we are looking at the signboard at the start. And here we go, cars coming up the track. And this was to try and show how rough and degraded it is in places. But the photos never seem to be as fierce as going up the track. And that's another rough area, and again, and again, and this is very rough, rocky, sharp stone section here. And yeah, and this is probably one of the nicest pictures. It shows that knife edge, very sharp, down each side, near the top of the track. And it was foggy there as well, and it was sunny there, and there was flowers. And after we finished Billy Goats, we visited the Pinnacles, all nice and foggy. And there's Peter Waters again, and some flowers and the fog. And after the Pinnacles, Junction Spur track, we came to this big bog hole, which was scarier looking than the photo looks. We spent quite a while trying to decide which way to go, but we did in the end. This is another video that's not videoing, showing Ken driving through it. And we came to this rolled car, which is not one of ours. It apparently happened the day before. A young fellow rolled his car down the hill. We sort of heard about it secondhand. We thought the car had been towed away, but the car was still there. We don't know what happened to the driver. But it was a fairly new-looking Amarok before it had all the dents in it. and squeezing around it. And there's another view of the rolled car propped up against a tree. And again in the Dargo area, we visited Harrison's Cut. It's a big cut through the mountains by the miners looking for water power. Having a look on the shore there. Nearby Matheson Spur Track. And then we went up to Blue Rag. And there's a nice view of the Blue Rag track through someone's windscreen. And another windscreen smudge, but never mind. And when we got to the trig point at the top, the South Australia Toyota Land Cruiser Club were there as well. So there were other people. It was very crowded up there that day. And after we'd been to Blue Rag, we then went on to the Bright area the next day. Oh, this is how rough and tough it is on a four-wheel drive trip. Ken and I stopped for lunch. We travelled the Goldie Spur Track, which gives magnificent views over the mountains. Then we turned to the Mount Buggery Track, which was a pleasant drive with a few minor challenges. And here's a car coming up the hill. And then the next day we went to the Twins Jeep Track. Lovely views from there. And there's the Twins tracks. And two of our ladies having morning tea. And there's the morning tea circle on the helicopter pad. The group split at this stage. Some of us went up Guns Track, which was rocky and loose and so on, but quite doable. Ken and I had travelled up it 2 or 3 years previously and found it really difficult, but it was not dead easy, but not especially difficult either. And that's some of the steep slopes up it. And another view of the rocky loose surface. At Bright, last day we were there, it came over a big storm. So here's a few photos. Trees came down. And that was a nice one with all the red light and stuff. Trees on the road. But we did find a pub that was open, which was near Bright. So there we are having dinner at the pub. The next day we were heading to Mount Buller area and we were going to Powers Lookout for lunch. And look what we found on the road. There's Ken and me inspecting it, and some of it's been cleared away and the team's working clearing it away. Ken became the chainsaw king on this trip. After taking the chainsaw to the high country on 5 previous trips, this time it got used a lot. And there they are, all watching Ken with the chainsaw. And the last bit of log there. It wasn't possible to turn around because we all had our caravans on and there wasn't anywhere to even do 3-point turns. So we had to clear it away. And this is the view from Powers Lookout. It's well worth going to Powers Lookout if you go to this area. It's just an amazing view from the top. We camped at Tolmie Reserve Camping Ground, a community recreation reserve, hot showers, flushing toilets, no powered sites, but sunny areas for your solar power. $7.50 a night per person. Great phone reception area as well. 30 kilometres from Mansfield. Happy hour, having a chat. The next day we headed south of Mansfield, stopped off at to have a look at Lake Eildon, one of the big water storages for Melbourne. And this is again south of Mansfield. We went to the Howqua Hills area. We were looking for a track we hadn't been to before called Symes Track. I thought this was the turn-off, but it wasn't. It was just but this is it. So that was a fun drive as well. Oh, and gosh, there was another tree down and more chainsawing, and the chainsaw got stuck in the branch. But Kit got out his axe and chopped away and rescued the chainsaw. And Ken got back to chainsawing. We visited the Mitchell's Track slate mine, which again gives you good views of the countryside in the other direction. But it's quite interesting. You can pick up chunks of slate. The next day we went southeast of Mount Buller. We came across this poor chap whose Subaru did something to its front suspension and was all wonky. That's not from him parking, it's because he's broken his car. We stopped at the Bindari Falls, which had quite a lot of water going over them that day. And there's the whole group underneath the falls. And there's another shot of the falls. And this Highland copperhead was just snoozing on top of a fern branch right next to the walking path. And it's actually very small, so, but apparently they're very venomous. And we moved on to Craig's Hut. Coming up to the last day of the trip, we went to north of the Mount Buller area. We crossed the King River. There's one of our cars going through the river there. And gosh, we came to another fallen down tree. This was too big to chainsaw. And here's a great video lying on its side. We had to bush bash through virgin territory across the deep grass and bushes to get around that fallen tree. No, this was a day trip. What we were doing during the trip was we find a camping spot, leave the caravans there. So the last few days we were all at Tolmy Camping Ground, and then we did single day trips with just the cars. We probably would have been able to back up and turn around if we hadn't found this bypass track. If we'd had trailers, it was sort of open enough behind the tree to back up a bit. And another tree was down and we drove across the paddocks, and that's the end. Thank you.
Again, sorry for missing you out. Anyone else? Have I left anyone else out? Take two will be, the meeting's closed at 9:22. Please join me in thanking Peter Fenwick and Mark Nelson from Camperact and from Ambush Trailers for bringing their trailer out here and for their speaking tonight as well. Thanks.